So I was just thinking about something. And I want to talk about how loyalty and how being overly concerned about how somebody else is going to respond to you is really going to cause you, anybody who does it, to really not have a fulfilling life. How it can cause you to be vexed. Okay? I want to start off with probably the juicy thing. Which one is juicy? Okay. I want to start off with the probably the juicy one. Okay, so I've been hearing, not really hearing, I listen to this stuff maybe if I do listen to it 5 minutes and then I turn because it's a waste of time for me to have any kind of feelings about it. And it's about this brown women, brown men stuff. Or black women, black men, however you like to say it. That's a psyop, number one. That is a psyop. That needs no attention because at this point, since 2006 on YouTube alone, it's been the same arguing points from, I guess, a lot of so-called black men, and then black women responding like, well, lack of protection and all that stuff, and, the other things that a lot of, black men do, lack of, male role models and a lack of father figures, and then you got the male that talks about the femininity, masculine energy in women, and, the food stamp welfare. So now they want to blame it on welfare and, I forgot that word that they want to keep using. I forgot the term they want to keep using. Oh, feminism. They want to keep talking about feminism. Every time, every argument they have, it's going to be feminism. It's going to keep coming up. I'm going to tell you something right now. Even when I try to listen to somebody who is actually intelligent talk about that, I find myself turning because here's why. There's never ever going to be a solution. The solution is to just walk away. I'm going to tell you that right now. The solution is to walk away. And those who feel like they want to stay around to work things out is because they like struggle and pain. I want to talk about something somebody said, white people versus black people. And I don't like to compare, but I'm going to say the difference right here. And I'm going to say white women versus black women. And I don't like to compare that. But on this particular topic, I do want to compare white women to black women on this one. White women don't care if white men just went, well, white men have done it. But then they ain't going to go to the extent that black men have done online and publicly because they know that white women will use their power, but black men know that black women will not use their power. Black women will continue to be loyal. And let me tell you, I have a problem with loyalty, but not to black men because I've never been loyal to black men. I've never been loyal to the black community. Okay, so I have a problem with loyalty myself that causes me to lose in life. But it's not to black people, okay? Because it's not even to my mother. When I found out my mother, pretty much wanted me dead, okay, well, I lost my loyalty to her. I had to learn to unlove her, and it didn't take me longer than 2 years to do so. So I don't have a problem with loyalty when it comes to something like that. I have a problem with loyalty, and I'm going to get back to the point because I do this. I have a problem with loyalty when it comes to, like, maybe I'm working for somebody, not getting paid what I should. I got an MBA. I've been working this particular career for 20 years, and I'm kind of like I'm getting paid when an assistant would get paid when I'm a full therapist that does evaluations. Okay, so loyalty kills me on that one because I should be getting $20 to $30 more an hour than what I'm getting. That's what loyalty kills me. That's what me being concerned about how somebody else is going to take something kills me. Because when it comes to my livelihood, and I have about 20 years experience, and I'm getting paid about like an assistant, when an assistant don't have to do the level of paperwork I got to do, that's a serious issue that needs some serious counseling. Okay, so that's my main issue right there. I don't have no loyalty to the black community, but you don't have to be loyal to black men in the black community to have a freaking problem. I got a freaking problem that hurts me, my livelihood, but it ain't to no black folks. But I'm gonna get back to the juicy part because this is the part to get people's ears, right? But white women compared to black women. First of all, Tommy Sotomayor and this man Kevin Samuels and who else, all these other guys that just want to beat black women down. Okay, black women ain't perfect. We get that. But see, people act like black women are just so imperfect and every other woman is just perfect. And that is the illusion that they're trying to put over black women to see. What I don't like is okay, well, if you want to compare black women to white women when it comes to femininity, then you're going to have to look at the white woman's patriarchy, because the black women don't have a patriarchy or the male like the white woman does when it comes, if you want to call her masculine, okay? And then, but they're gonna blame they're gonna blame feminism and welfare for the reason. So it's gonna get back to the black women, and that's why I say those conversations don't get nowhere. You cannot, because the thing is, both sides need to work on themselves. When it comes down to it, both sides just need to work on themselves. And both sides are really not going to do that. So the best thing to do is, number one, stop having children with this level of dysfunction between black American women and black American men, because the little kids coming up already 5 years old is picking up this behavior of a Kevin Samuels and a Tommy Sotomayor. So you really do a disservice for having children, and the universe is responding by probably getting rid of your children. I don't mean your children specifically, but I don't blame the universe for getting rid of black American children right now, trying to birth additional kids in this level of dysfunction where the men clearly despise, hate their black women, but want to keep bringing children into this. I think the universe have every right to get rid of the children. Take them to a better place, because this ain't it. But I'm going to get back to white women versus black women when it comes to taking shit off of your men. Because I don't call them my men. I don't claim people. I don't even call black people my people. I don't claim people. But I know black folks like to do that. White women would not have just tolerated this type of psychological abuse at this level, regardless of how imperfect they are. And let me tell you how imperfect white women are, just in case black women don't know this. White women have a history of lying on black men and getting them lynched and getting them killed. White women have a history of lying on the black people, period, to get the police to come and arrest them. Okay, white women have a very pretty, significant history. I get that people want to focus on black women and their wretchedness and their ghetto-ness, so they want to focus on one particular black woman, and then you get the wretched black women that say, yeah, we do. No, you do, because of your neighborhood. I don't even know your world. First of all, I've been around that world, but I don't understand your world, and this is why I don't really get along with black people in the United States of America. I get along with Africans better. I'm going to be honest with you. Why? Number one, they don't expect me to be like them. But see, you get these wretched black women to understand the particular neighborhoods they come from in the United States. And so like, yeah, we can be ratchet. Look, first of all, you can be ratchet, but I don't understand your world, and that's why I cannot be friends with black women. Because if you get the ratchet black women that know she grew up that way and feels like, well, we black women, no, not we black women, you black women that fit the description of what he's talking about. But first of all, it's messed up to take in and digest everything he's saying, but yet they not checking themselves. But this is not black men against black women. I don't want to have that conversation, because that goes nowhere, and it's best to walk away. You really just need to split up. That's never going to be solved, okay? But the point of the conversation is how just trying to keep sticking in there and being loyal and trying to get somebody else's point of view and just sticking it out, how it just really hurts you. Okay? And I was thinking about that earlier today. When you are trying to reason with somebody, whether it's a man or a woman, a family member, okay? But this person wants to constantly be right, and they never want to look at themselves, regardless of who it is. Okay, don't just have to be black men versus black women. This is anybody. Anytime, if you're trying to see the person's side, you're trying to be level-headed, but the other person that you're talking to is not trying to really hear your side. They just want to beat you over the head with all of their grievances, but then they don't care about what you have to say. And then it's time to end that conversation, period. It's time to end that relationship, period. And I really hate working with folks like that. I really hate working a job with people like that, too. But I'm quick to, I end that kind of relationship with family members and stuff like that. Like, I had to learn to end it, because I even get annoyed when I used to look at television shows about these family members where they always, and I get these television shows need ratings. No wonder Elaine is off. I get these television shows need ratings, so when it comes to these family fights and these television shows, you never know what's real and what's not, because they need the ratings, and people like to see drama. People don't want to see nobody get along all the time, because people are naturally negative. I hate to say it, but they're negative. They carry negative energy, and they need negativity. It's just going to be boring. I mean, it's just going to be boring to look at people get along all the time on television. But I will say, like, you look at these families that and they can't seem to get along. They always arguing, and it's just like, when are they going to get to a solution? When are they going to get all this counseling? They get all this counseling. Like, just one example is Braxton Family Values, and I'm only thinking about that because Tracy Braxton just passed away. But I used to watch that show, and I just used to look at, like, they could not stop arguing. Like, they could not stop arguing. With all of the doggone therapy they had, they could not figure it out. And these are women that's now in their 40s, probably close to 50s, some of them in their 50s, because some of those women are 10 years older than me, and I'm going to be my mid-40s. And some of those women are 10 years older than me, okay? So, like, and at that age, they cannot figure it out. So how do you even raise a child like that when you got grown folks that can't freaking communicate, but then you call yourself raising children, telling them how to act? But anyway, I digress on that. But so what I'm saying is that I started with black women versus black men, because, when that kind of topic gets started, it grabs people's attention. Even though I turn from that subject when I see people talk about it, I might listen for 5 minutes and I have to turn, because there's no solution but end it. Just end. Just END. There's no solution. So the most intelligent person can talk about black women and black men in America. It's no need of listening to it. It's over. It's over. Okay? But I want to say, just in general, with anybody, when it just seems like you just keep trying to work things out, you keep trying to see their side, you keep trying to be the bigger person, you keep trying to get rid of your ego so you can hear what they have to say, but then they don't want to hear what you have to say, then F the family. F black people, it's my people, F my people. F black men and F black women. Okay, F black men, F black women. F the kids. Yeah, I said F the kids. Because the kids are messed up. I'm sorry, the kids are messed up. You just don't have this level of dysfunction between black men and black women and think the kids ain't going to be affected. And they have been. The kids are just worse. They're worse off. The kids now are worse off than the older millennials, Generation X, and the boomers. The kids now are horrible. They're horrible now. And it just kind of, it's annoying that I see some black people say, what's wrong with these kids? What do you think is wrong with them? What do you think? What do you think they heard online all this time? This disrespect of their mothers. What do you think they heard? And they think it's okay because the mothers ain't going to do nothing. The women ain't going to do nothing about this level of disrespect because they are so loyal. They are so loyal and they want to work things out so bad, or maybe they just don't care. I don't know the reasons. Or maybe they just don't care that they just allowed this to happen to this level, that black women the spiritual doors have been opened. It's just like open season on black women now. The spiritual doors are open, just like you can kill them now, because I mean nobody cares about black women. Look at them. And then they don't care. They won't even defend themselves. Look at how they do. Look at how they do Black Lives Matter. How they always at the front lines, even though these men disrespect them right after the march is over and the Black Lives Matter event is over. Look at how their men turn around and disrespect them. But yet and still, another police officer shoots another a black male. Look at how these black women go right back out and they get disrespected. And it's like they don't care that they get disrespected. So we can go and kill them. They don't care. Okay. But yeah, people want to wonder what's going on with this generation of little black kids growing up. What do you think? And then look at the music, look at the entertainment, look at what they're up against in the United States of America. I don't even have kids, but I can pretty much answer the question of what's wrong with them. Okay? Because you can be the best parent in the world, but they should never be exposed to this level of toxicity in the United States. They should never be exposed to this, no matter how good their parents are. But I'm going to go back to this example, white women, Jewish women. I'm just going to use this example of what I actually saw on Tanya TKO channel, okay? Because she's the channel I saw this on. I'm going to give her the credit, whether somebody else could have talked about it or not. I saw it first on her channel, so I just have to give her the credit. And it was this talk show of this Jewish man who was tearing down Jewish women. He was putting down Jewish women. And he was just finding everything wrong with Jewish women, about the way they look, the way they dress, the music they listen to, the way they dance, the way they fix their hair. Like, he found everything that he could find wrong with Jewish women. He found wrong with Jewish women. Okay? Every single thing he found wrong with Jewish women, he could find wrong with Jewish women. And those Jewish women weren't having it. First of all, you can visibly see that they look pissed on that show. But see, fast forward like a few years later, when that young male grew up into an older man, he went back and told his story about what happened ever since that show, about him just putting down Jewish women like that. He said when he went back to that neighborhood, Jewish women did not speak to him. Jewish women did not date him. Jewish women did not have nothing to say to him. And they didn't care that, what black women like to do, and I'm just saying in general, because I've been hearing this for probably the last 5-6 years with black women, when it comes to this black women bashing on YouTube. Black women always have the excuse that maybe he's been through some kind of trauma with his mama. Maybe some girl hurt his feelings in school, or something happened. And true enough, their lives was not perfect. But I always have to ask the question, whoever said that life was supposed to pass them by? Because if anybody has been listening to my channel for any number of months to a year, you know the level of trauma I've had to deal with. But I did not go off on every black family because of it. I did not go off on every black woman because of it. I did not go off on every black man because of it. Who said that life was supposed to pass Tommy Sotomayor by? Who said that life was supposed to pass Kevin Samuels by? These black women that make these excuses for black men to bash them have been through hell themselves. These black women have been raped. These black women have been raped. And gang raped on top of that. And then when they were gang raped, they had mothers that said, well, you shouldn't have been so fast. Yeah, those black women that like to make excuses for the Tommy Sotomayors in the world and the Kevin Samuels, yeah, they've been raped. Not all, I don't mean that. All of them have been raped. I'm just saying. What I mean is that they have problems themselves. Their life isn't perfect either. So I ain't got no excuse, and I'm not angry at Tommy Sotomayor or Kevin Samuels. I'm angry at the excuses. Let me be clear. I'm not angry at Tommy Sotomayor. I'm not angry at Kevin Samuels. I'm angry. Well, I'm not even angry. I'm annoyed Let me stop saying I'm angry, because that's too much energy to get with some bullshit. Okay? Because the Black American race probably just need to go. They need to, don't hold on to this shit. Don't hold on to this shit. Because they embrace struggle. The reason why this keep going on is because the Black American people embrace struggle, and the universe is just going to keep taking their kids. I'm sorry, the universe is going to keep taking their kids. I'm not going to cry for them either. Okay, you like struggle, you're going to lose your children. But anyway, that's my frustration. When I said Black women that keep defending these Black men have been raped, it's just my frustration in saying that. I'm not saying that they were actually raped. My point in saying that is that, yeah, Black women have been through a lot of trauma. And that's the reason why they are the way they are right now, is because of the level of psychological abuse they had to endure since they were little girls, because of the dysfunction that has been going on with Black people forever. Right? And so when I hear Black women that want to make these excuses for Black men as if they've never been through anything, it's frustrating. Yeah, Tommy Sotomayor might have been through something in his life. Yeah, Kevin Samuels might have been through something in his life. But they are not that traumatized with Black women that they have gone this far. It's all about money, and it's just kind of a shame that a lot of Black women can't see that. And that's why the doors are open to take a lot of Black women out. I mean, Thomas Sotomayor I seen him in a chat one time. I was listening to a lady that I'm subscribed to. And somehow Thomas Sotomayor was in this lady's chat. And this lady was talking about how he he just tears down Black women and stuff like that. And Tommy Sotomayor clearly said in her chat that that's his job. Okay, when he says that's his job, that means he's getting paid to do it. He gets paid to tear down Black women. He said that's his job. And actually it came out that like places like KFC and other places sponsored Tommy Sotomayor. And plus he's sponsored by a lot of white supremacists. They sponsor him too. He gets money. And unfortunately, a lot of Black women donate money to him too. Black men give him money, but there's a lot of Black women that give him money. Unfortunately, yeah. So Tommy Sotomayor gets paid good money, and he got paid. YouTube gave him a nice check. Okay, he gets paid from YouTube views. So he gets paid. Kevin Samuels get money. These people are probably close to billionaires or multimillionaires off of bashing Black women. Okay, so it's not so much that they are traumatized. It's a money-making business in bashing Black women. It's a money-making business. They ain't that daggone traumatized because something their mama did. They getting money. Okay? But, like I said, comparing Black women to white women only on this matter. Okay? Not on nothing else. Just on this matter. Those Jewish women ain't give a darn what his kind of mother this Jewish man had, okay? They didn't care what kind of trauma he could have been through. All they know is they're not going to be disrespected on television like that. They had to send out a message to make sure the other Jewish men did not follow in his footsteps. So those Jewish women stuck together. They did not date him. They did not speak to him. They act like that one Jewish man that had something to say. They understood that letting that one Jewish man get away with it and letting that one Jewish man have his opinion and publicly embarrassing him like that, just because it's one man, you let him get away with it, then a lot of other Jewish men gonna feel like they can do the same. They were smart enough to set an example. Black women aren't. Black women are loyal to their own detriment. And you see what's happening with Black women right now. Okay? You see what's happening. Had Black women thought like these women, a lot of shit would be changing. A lot of shit would have changed. Okay? So that's the part that I know gets attention. Now, just getting on it, because, like I said, the Black community, as far as I'm concerned, just needs to go. Ain't nothing gonna work. You can't talk no more. You can't talk with people almost want you dead. They don't almost want you dead. They want you dead. Ain't no talking to people who just want you dead now. Ain't no working that shit out. But black women want to work it out, though. Okay? But it's like, I don't know if you know it or not, but these guys want you dead. The ones that's doing what they're doing. Okay? And I'm going to give credit to people who's been online saying this before I got online. Well, I never got online really talking about stuff like that for a prolonged period of time. But I can, give credit to the people who I have heard say it for a number of years, trying to say, no, they want to hurt you. You don't get it. They hate you. You don't get it. Like, it was a few black women that tried to get that through to other black women. Like, you don't get it. For number one, they're making money about doing this. They're getting paid good money. And number two, if they hate you, they want you dead. They want you dead. Okay. But yeah. So getting back to the other stuff that's less juicy, but I was talking about just being loyal to your own, being loyal, period, to your own detriment. It ain't gotta be about being loyal to black men and stuff, or maybe being loyal to your family, like the Braxton family values and Tracy Braxton. I'm gonna say this. There's already been questions in the air if Tracy Braxton was a sacrifice. Excuse me. There's already been questions raised whether Tracy Braxton was a sacrifice or not. Okay? This is how loyal this woman was to her family, but I can't say that she was perfect either. I'm so mad that one lane is closed off. I mean, like I wasted a whole gallon of gas just stopping and waiting. But anyway, I'm just annoyed with this. This traffic ain't moving. But anyway, it's questionable whether Tracy Braxton was a sacrifice. I'm not going to say whether she is or whether she haven't, because that ain't my place. But I'm going to say the questions came up from multiple people of whether she was a sacrifice. Okay? My point in that when it comes to family is that you saw all this counseling they had. You saw all of this counseling that they had on this show. And you had these sisters and Tracy and others. You see how they still wanted to be loyal to each other. Maybe one lawyer more loyal than the other. And it's questionable whether Tracy was even sacrificed by her own sisters. And two main sisters came up in this question. Two main sisters. Okay? There's only one other sister that was kind of left out of not having nothing to do with it. Actually, three sisters, but it was two main sisters that was probably involved in what happened with Tracy Braxton. With that being said, loyalty can kill you. Loyalty and just loving people who don't want to work it out with you can kill you. That's why I decided to unlove my family. Because once you see that they don't like you, once you see that they don't respect you, no matter what you do, and you try to find out what do you keep doing wrong, why don't they respect you? Why is it everything that you do is wrong? You get that you're not perfect, but hell, they ain't perfect either. So why is it that every single flaw that they think is a flaw, number one, they think is a flaw, why does that always have to be shown? But it's like you are the scapegoat for everything. And yet and still, it's like you want to see them as family, but they're family. You're going to mess around and have a freaking heart attack messing around with them. Because they can't seem to give you a break. And when it came to Tracy, Tracy was the wannabe. I never really cared for that. Tracy was the wannabe. The wannabe. Wow. Why can't she just be her damn self? Why couldn't Tracy just be her damn self? I never cared for that wannabe. When the Braxton family values first started, Tracy Braxton was called the wannabe. She should have just wanted to be herself. That's what she should have wanted to be. That's the most important thing. Anyway, that was already an insult to her right there. That was already tearing her down. That already made her the sacrifice of the family. That right there already made her the sacrifice of the family. Okay? But, there go the loyalty of their family, and it's nothing like family. Oh, really? Because the question came up that it might be two main sisters who was involved in this blood sacrifice here, if it was a blood sacrifice. But it's nothing like family. Blood is blood, right? That type of loyalty, it'll kill you. It'll kill you. You got to see family ain't shit. I put on that Divine Beingness channel. It's a title called Family is a Cult. C-U-L-T. Family is a cult, because of that stuff right there. You're so loyal, you think your family is the only one that got your back, and look at what happened. It's very questionable, and it's very likely that two main people in her family was involved in her death. The very people that she thought would be loyal to her. The very people. And this is why I don't like the idea of individual families and only being loyal to family. Because, let me tell you why. Number one, my struggles in life, but it's because okay, so why overlook somebody else who could be a better family to you than somebody else? It's like, I'll get on that subject later because I have to change the subject for that one. Okay, that's a different subject. And then I'm going to get on the money thing. So I first started talking about myself. About how you can just lose out on your best life being loyal. So worried about how somebody feel about what your demands are, you can lose out on life. I'm so annoyed that they choose to work on this road and close off one road during rush hour. I'm so annoyed with that. Oh my goodness. Anyway, but here's my issue, because this is my problem. Why do I need to be worried about what somebody else have to say? At this point, especially with what's going on right now, I need to be all about the money. Forget that. There's no such thing as that. Oh, do things because you love it. Do things. No, you can't just do things because you love it, unless you have some other money and finances to back you up. You do things that you love when you are financially backed up. Because what's going on right now, you can't just do what you love and not think about the money. I mean, I'm a perfect example of I can tell you that. Or somebody else has got to be helping you. Some kind of way you need to be backed up financially. Whether it's you putting savings aside or somebody else helping you out. But it's all about the dividends right now. It's all about money, especially right now. And where I fall short, it's not even knowing my self-worth. I'm well aware of my self-worth. Say of what my profession is. I'm an occupational therapist. I'm well aware that I need to ask for $60 to $65 an hour, especially if I'm working per diem. I am well aware that even if I work for a staffing agency, because I'm sitting here and there and here and there, and I'm going to tell you something. There is a level of anxiety when you're working for a staffing agency. Staffing agencies is that where they just send you to work wherever the place needs help. So you could be working at one particular place for a week, and then the next week you're at a totally different place that you never even been to for maybe 3 days, and then after those 3 days are over, you're at a totally different place that you never been to. That creates anxiety because you never know. It's no stability in that. You never know. I don't care if you've been working for 50 years. I've worked long enough to just go in and get started. But every time you work, I know how to do evaluations. I know how to fill out paperwork. But you're still going to have to learn how that particular company, that particular facility you still have to know how they want things done. It ain't that simple. Even if you work for 50 years in a particular profession, you're still going to have to learn that facility and their procedures and how things are done. So I have the idea of how occupational therapists do things. I know how to fill out evaluations because I do it over and over again. But each time you go to a new facility, they have their own way of doing things, and that creates anxiety. And this Asian guy told me, what is he, Filipino? He told me this is in LA. He said, you need to be asking for $60 an hour. See, the reason why, I'm going to tell you why some people make more money than others. Because he said, even if they say no, you need to keep it moving. You need to know that you are worth about $60 or more an hour, especially even when you're dealing with, because per diem, they're automatically going to pay you that much. That's what per diem, and that just means as needed, like working in, whether it's hospitals or nursing homes, as needed. Okay, that's like automatically $60 an hour for an occupational therapy. Probably more for a physical therapist. Okay, because they have to get PhDs. OTs have to get masters. Occupational therapists have to get master's degrees. And PTs got to get PhDs. So they could probably ask for more, okay? Is that? Okay, I'm just looking, sorry. Okay, so, yeah. He said you need to ask for more money per hour because he's the one that made me see it this way. The way I just explained about it, it creates anxiety. It's almost like you have to keep starting over and starting over and starting over. Yeah, you know your job well. You know the description of an occupational therapist, or you might know the description of a physical therapist if you've been working for 50 years. You know what's expected of you to do as a person who's practiced for a number of years, or even as a nurse, right? Nurses do that too, okay? But you still going into a different facility that have their own ways of doing things. It's like you're going into a different personality. It's like you're marrying somebody week to week. You're marrying a different person. It's like week to week you're marrying a different person, okay? And so each person is going to have a different personality. So what happens is, yeah, you have an idea of how a marriage works because you've been in a marriage for so long, is that you understand the idea of a marriage, wanting somebody who ain't never been there. But that every single facility has a different way of doing things. It's a different personality. And this Asian guy made me see it that way. Like, you need to be asking for $60 or more an hour when you have to do that, right? The problem where I fall short is that it's not that I don't see my worth. That's not the problem. I agree with that man 100%. So I have to talk louder because now I get to drive faster. Maybe it was good I was driving slow because I was able to hear me better. But I agree with him 100%. And I wholeheartedly understand my self-worth. I know that I'm worth a lot more. I know it. So where I fall short is that I don't ask for it because I'm so concerned of what somebody else is going to say. It's almost like this problem with rejection, but you just need to let them. You need to let them say, "Okay, I can't pay you," and keep it pushing. You just got to keep it pushing. If they say they can't pay you what you're worth, and I'm saying this to myself, I say you, but maybe somebody else needs to hear it because that could be a problem with so-called black people more than anybody else. I need to learn how to say, if these people want to say they ain't got the money to pay me, then I need to learn how to say, okay, thank you so much, and keep it pushing. I have this problem with me of this guilt and shame that I'm so concerned about what somebody else feels and thinks. And it's to my detriment. And it causes me not to enjoy life the way I should. Okay? So, yeah, I think that's it. I want to start off with something that people might be more interested in listening to, even if they have their own opinion. But that is not the only thing in life. Being loyal and worrying about people's feelings and being too tolerant of certain behaviors it's not just about black men versus black women, but that's just a topic right now. But it's way more to life. It could be your job too. It could be your boss. Just you want to be loyal because that's who you are. You're not a person who easily wants to walk away. And if you feel like you're going to get some kind of money in the next year, I can see holding on to that. But other than that, just trying to be loyal to folks because you've been there for so long, or just trying to stick to what you know, it can cause you to lose out a lot in life. So, I mean, yeah. So that just applies across the board, not just with so-called black men and black women. That's something that gets your attention. But that type of stuff is a problem, period. No matter what you're dealing with, okay? But anyway, that'll be it, and I'll talk later.